Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressive were the Cowboys?
Skip, I gave him an 8, but the game shouldn't have been as close as it was, and it definitely shouldn't have gone to overtime. Skip, when you have 232 more yards, you run 32 more plays, you possess the ball 12 more minutes, and you have 15 more first downs, you don't normally go to overtime in order to beat a team that you thoroughly dominated. But when you have 12 penalties for 115 yards and you have that coach on the sideline, this is what made this game closer than what it needed to be. The last 2 years, Skip, the Cowboys lose games like this. There's no way. And you mentioned the ebbs and flows of the ball game. The Cowboys looked like they had gained control, then all of a sudden they didn't. And then Trevon Diggs, he's sure as he's had, I believe, Trevon Diggs. I believe right now he's the defensive player of the year, although T.J. Watt says, hey.
Last night he made a statement.
Yeah, don't forget about me. But, Skip, he makes a play, and you're like, well, we got it won now. That secured it. And then they run an out-and-up move on Diggs, and he shouldn't have bit, but he got greedy. But he has a safety in the hole, and I don't know what Kazee saw. Maybe he was trying to get greedy, go get him a pick, but Kendrick Bourne steps in front of him, gets the ball, goes back down the field, and give Dak Prescott Skip. Dak Prescott has been unbelievable. And you said, well, what are they going to take away? I said, Skip, knowing Coach Belichick, the way having played against his teams, he's going to take away the run. And he's going to make Dak, because you like, when we run more than we throw, we're like, we haven't lost the ball game.
Yep.
And Coach Belichick says, you know what, guys? I'm going to take Zeke, and I'm going to take Pollard away.
Yep.
And you have 3.9 yards. You're going to get 31 carries, a little over 122 yards.
Yep.
But in order for you to beat us, Dak, you're going to need to throw the ball 50-plus times.
Yep.
And you're going to need to throw it and complete it at a high percentage. Can you do that? Dak said, yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Skip, I don't want to get overboard. I can't give them a 10. Now, had they had a performance like this, say, against Tampa, and they win the ball game, or they have a performance like this against even the Chargers, even though they had a horrible loss yesterday, I would have given them a 10. But let's be real. The Patriots are not a very good football team. And there's no way around that. We can say, well, this and that and all this and all that. They got a rookie quarterback. But the fact of the matter is, that defense, that's the worst defense as far as a given day that Coach Belichick has ever placed on the field. That surpassed, you remember that opening Thursday night when Kansas City did that number on them there. I think they had 538, 5 something like that.
Yep.
And then Dak goes in there and does 567. I'm going to give them an 8, Skip. I believe this is a big win for them. This is something that they can build on. I was really, really impressed by Dak, because not did he have to overcome those 12 penalties, he had to overcome his own coach. Sometimes, Skip, the people that's closest to you doing you the most harm, and you don't even realize it, because you're so close to the action, you don't even realize it. Damn, bro, you sabotaging us. I gave him an 8. The Patriots aren't very good, and it's looking like they're not going to make the playoffs. But give the Cowboys credit. They found a way in a day that they should have run away with the ball game. They kept letting the Patriots hang around. Dak Prescott delivered in the end, and he did it in style, a walk-off.
A walk-off. Walked all over me. I still can't believe anything I saw yesterday. There were times I thought my team would deserve a 10 on the impressive scale yesterday. There were times I thought my team deserved a 0 on the impressive scale. So the harsh but true answer to Jenny's question is, scale of 1 to 10, they deserved a 5 on the impressive scale. But to your point, they're 5 and 1. They won a game that if Tom Brady had still been the quarterback in New England, he's going to win that game.
Yeah.
And the more I watch Mac Jones, I respect him. I'm moderately impressed by him. But I believe long-term in New England that the best thing you'll be able to say about Mac Jones is he's not bad.
Right.
He's not bad.
Right.
Well, is that damning with faint praise?
Right.
That's what you're up against.
Not bad won't win you a Super Bowl. You got to be really good and great.
So the bottom line was, that was the worst game my team has played all year. It was. I'm about to count the ways. It was the worst they played all year. Yet they won the game. They didn't do what you say are Cowboy things that lost the game.
Right.
They kept canceling out Cowboy things with great things. Dak Prescott's teams in 2016, 17, 18, and 19 would have lost that game.
Oh, yeah.
2020 definitely Dak or Andy Dalton. They're just going to lose that game.
2019 when they had Dak the whole year, you definitely losing that game.
You're losing that game. And by the way, Dak went up there in 2019. It was foul weather in November, but they managed to score 9 points. Well, yesterday, at times, they look like the most explosive offense in pro football, and they well might be. But the point is, they did this in spite of, and now let me count the ways of in spite of. My Cowboys went 3 of 13 on third down, and they won the game. My Cowboys had, to your point, 12 penalties for 115 yards, many of them on first down.
Right.
False start, holding, illegal man downfield, hands to face, name it. I can just keep going. Almost all of them came on first down. It was 1st and 15. It was 1st and 20. It was 1st and 25. Right. And you kept having to climb out of holes that you did finally climb out of. But you did all that with 12 penalties for 115 yards, and you won the football game at Belichick. Dak Prescott threw an interception into the end zone, into his end zone, to Cedric Wilson. Let's just go ahead and look at it. It's just late. It's a little late and a little behind him, and it gets tipped up for an interception. That's not Dak. Right. That's not the guy. That's not the guy who saves the day. And it was a bad idea.
But
it was covered.
Why not go there and take the points, though?
Okay. You could. you could take the point. Okay.
That is a rookie quarterback, Skip. That is a rookie quarterback that you're up against.
Okay, I hear you. So he does that, and then we had a sequence down after a block punt on the goal line. They're 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, and I got to tell you, yesterday, Zeke often looked like he was running in Cabo San. He looked like bad Zeke of 2019 and 2020. So could we just see this sequence at the goal line, please, here, if we could? This is first down to Zeke, and he's going nowhere. It's just, I didn't see burst. I didn't see quickness. Then he tries to just tiptoe it up in there, and he went nowhere. And I'm saying, sneak it, sneak it, sneak it. Okay, these are the two plays that don't make it. And then he sneaks it, and he makes it.
That was Dak.
He makes it. Yeah. Dak sneaks it, and he makes it. He's over the goal line. And I don't know what happens. They don't review it. Right. They didn't take enough time to review it. And before I know it, that happened. Because my boob coach, Mike McCarthy,
well, he can't review it, Skip. That's the last 2 minutes, so it's got to go upstairs.
I got it. But he went fast. Right. They ran the play quickly, like trying to catch them unawares.
He should have called timeout to make them have a little extra time to look at it, just in case.
Okay, the play-by-play says Belichick called timeout, but I don't remember that because they almost caught Jim Nantz and Tony Romo unawares, like it just happened so fast. They were already back at the line of scrimmage, and I'm saying, give it time to breathe. Right. Make them look at it a couple of times, because if you look at it, I'm pretty sure he fell across the goal line, and he's standing up saying, what has happened here? Right. But the point was, they couldn't get it in and didn't get it in and lost the football trying to go over the top, and he obviously lost control of the football.
I mean, I saw this. I mean, I didn't even really need to. I was like, he fumbled that.
Okay, so look at what you did. You went into the red zone. You were 2 of 5 in the red zone. Yeah. You took a field goal another time, but you cost yourself 14 points, or however you want to do the math backwards.
At least 10.
At least 10 by what you did or didn't do in the red zone. And by the way, speaking of Zeke, and you couldn't run, and we talked about it Friday. Will Belichick take this away? And I thought, no, he can't take this away, because they have been sledgehammering everybody. There's no way Belichick, who came in 15th against the run so far this year, could stop this pile-driving attack. And could we just see the opening 2 plays of the game on 3rd and 4th down? These are on the opening series, if we could. Opening series, Zeke. This is 3rd and short. Usually Zeke just on body lean gets that. And then we go 4th and short, and Zeke doesn't. Oh, here's 4th and short, and Zeke goes nowhere and gets knocked down in the hole.
We saw this early in the day with Miami and Jacksonville. Skip, why are you getting shotgun and run that play on 4th?
Okay, because you're so far from the line of scrimmage, you give them time to mass in the hole.
And look at where he's going. He's going to have to try to find a hole instead of just coming straight down here. I hate when they do this.
So right away, you give them the ball at your 34-yard line, right? Like to start off the game, you're just saying here, and they go short field touchdown.
And that's what I'm saying, Skip. You got a rookie quarterback. Why are you going going for it on fourth down.
Right. So,
put the ball and play
So
D.
I kept saying my all-time favorite Cowboys stat going into this game was 28-0 when, with Dak Prescott at quarterback, they run it more than they throw it. Yesterday, they were required to throw it 51 times to only 31 runs, and they won the football game. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? Would you believe that my Cowboy defense allowed New England, the Mac attack, to score 4 touchdowns? Do you realize that Mac Jones' offense in the first 5 games had managed only 8 total touchdowns, and we gave them 4? Are you kidding me? And then Trevon Diggs, as you said, I'm sorry, Trevon Diggs, I'll get it right, I'm doing what you're doing, did exactly what he's done every game. It looked like he had saved the day. It looked like he had struck again. He picked 6s with 2:27 left. Let's just take a look at it, because it wasn't a terrible pass, but he just happened to be right place, right time. That's just magical.
He's having a magical season. He drove on the ball. He sees him running the shallow cross skip. He comes right now, and the ball touches his hand. He's not missing. Skip is like a baseball player. It's like Barry Bonds. You make one bad pitch, he's not going to miss it now.
You know what? I was impressed with his burst here. That looked like a wide receiver, which his brother is, obviously, in which he was before. And then, to your point, we come right back the next play when I'm going ecstasy with agony. Ecstasy with that. Look at Diggs go. Boy, he can dig, can't he? And we come right back to Kendrick Bourne, and it's a mad play. They just say, okay, hell with you. We're going after you, Mr. Diggs. And to your point, Shannon Sharpe, I didn't mind what Diggs did on the play because it's trail technique, and he's just sort of saying, I'm lurking, I'm sort of right behind him. But he knows he's got Kazee over the top. And he's looking for Kazee. This ball should be Kazee's. Like, that's a bad idea. That's a wrong-headed throw. It's a mad throw. It's like, I'm just going to get you. I'm going to get you back right here. It took some guts to try this, but Kazee should put that in his back pocket.
What you Skip, in a situation like that, just go ahead and make the play. Just go ahead and make the tackle, and you live this. Because if you look at it at the tail end, Diggs is pointing at him. That's you.
Well, Diggs looked over his shoulder while he's chasing, like, where were you?
So he's like, I'm going to jump anything underneath. I'm not going to give you anything short. And then you got over the top. And
I don't know where he's going. You talk about a bad angle.
That was horrible.
It's like he ran himself completely out of the play. Well, guess what? Kazee started last year in Atlanta for the all-time worst pass defense in the history of professional football. Okay, so you got to chalk that up. I thought he was, because he's been a playmaker, but you can't play like that.
No.
That was so disappointing because I went from ecstasy back to agony because that was the sign of a bad team. But then here we come right back again, and we pull it out. And we won in spite of. Now to Mike McCarthy. It was one thing after another. It's clock mismanagement run amok. It's at the end of the half.
Coach Belichick. Let me get this time out for Coach Belichick. That's my boy.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, it didn't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things, but you can just see he's completely overwhelmed by the magnitude of moments. When it's his turn to take the game over, he can't take it over. And we had with 2:42 left, Dak scrambled, and they called it 4th and 2. It was 4th and a long one. And I thought, okay, it's a 51-yard field goal, but it just felt like the momentum was, okay, now just go for it. Because if you go for it and make it, you might just bleed the clock out and go down and kick the field goal and win the game, right? And here's Dak's run. He just couldn't quite get home. And it's 4th and 1, and they kicked the field goal, and I just knew what was coming. No, it felt like they didn't get set. They weren't mentally, emotionally set, and he snap hooks it, and I'm thinking, ball game. That's it, right? And you know the rest of the story. Okay? So when I look at the big picture of this game, the firepower was on display everywhere, but especially down the stretch. What Dak Prescott did at the end of this game and what he's done at the end of the games at GOAT and then at Justin Herbert and now, they're sensational drives to win games. But if we could just see the one for the field goal at the end, look at 4th and 4 at the 35. This is 1:23 left. This is for the game, okay? So it's 4th and 4, and he throws a high pass to little Cedric Wilson, who just skies up and gets it. It was a great pass. It was a very good throw because it's pickable. You know, like it's covered. It's covered underneath, right?
Yes.
He's got to throw it over the top of the DB.
But Dak is anticipating that he's not going to get his head around, and he never looks. I mean, they're trying him on the sideline.
You realize,
get your hands up.
If that doesn't get caught, the game is over, and we lose.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's fourth at 35. And then the play of the game comes down to it's 3rd and 25, thanks to more penalties, at the Dallas 45.
Right.
With 31 seconds left. And this is just sensational on both counts, on Dak's part and on CeeDee Lamb's part. And CeeDee rises up. That's what he does best. He skies, he apexes, he high points, and he rips the ball out of the sky for 24 yards and to set up the field goal.
That was a great throw and catch. But what happened to Coach Belichick that was known for such great in-game adjustments? Okay, you're rushing 3.
Yep.
You're rushing 3, dropping 8. You're rushing 4, dropping 7. At what point in time do you say, you know what? Dak is just petting the ball. He's finding guys. Skip, if you do not pressure a quarterback, you cannot drop enough guys because guys are going to come open. Dak's going to move just a subtle move, and then he's going to buy time and get open. At some point, Coach Belichick, you're going to have to make you're known, but I said, I tweeted, I was like, what happened to all these Patriots' great in-game adjustment? And somebody tweeted me back, it's down in Tampa.
Well, thank you. Bingo.
Because that's what it is, Skip.
That must be somebody who follows me.
It must have been. Skip, you cannot. I mean, you've done the same thing. You're like, we're not getting pressure. But on 3rd and 25, Skip, bring something, make him throw the ball.
Occasionally, they brought the house.
Man.
And I thought it worked more than it didn't work. Occasionally, he beat it by swinging it to Zeke or dumping it to Schultz.
But I'm like, dude, what are you doing, Coach Belichick? But give Dak. Dak was patient. He slid to the left. He slid to the right. When he had to run, he put his head down and he got what he could. But I thought the Cowboys, a game like this, in which they would normally lose, even to a team that's inferior like the Patriots, they would have found a way to lose a game. Now they're finding ways to win ball games. And I've been in situations like this before. You can see it. They're gaining more and more and more confidence. And if you're not careful, this ball of energy is going to get so big, and you're not going to be able to control it.
I agree. Okay, here we go with the Mac Jones / Tom Brady memorial play. It comes down to 8:04 left in overtime, and it's 3rd and 3 at the New England 46. Well, this is the Brady play at Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game. You just have to convert this. And this is Mac Jones.
Skip,
that was the drive.
That was the drive. And I tweeted. I said that was the ball game right there. Skip, the safety takes a horrible angle. I believe he's going to get out the gate. Skip, he's gone. All he's going to do is hit up the sideline. It's over. Look at this. That's Aguilar. But that's Aguilar. His hands 50-50.
That's it. So that would have been the game for them.
That was it.
And yet Dak comes back and gets the ball, and I'm thinking, have they figured him out? And he goes, they ran it for 2, and then he goes 14, 6, 9, 7, 7. They're just chewing it up. It looked like the most explosive offense in pro football. And then, as Tony Romo correctly pointed out, I know you don't have the sound up, but he said on the previous play they wanted to run the same play that finally won the game. And there was a timeout called, and they came right back. Belichick called timeout because he didn't like the look. And they just ran the very same play on Jalen Mills, who was singled up on CeeDee over on the left side.
Well, CeeDee came all the way across the field, pushes him up, and then he like.
And that's it. And a little cheap shot there.
Well, CeeDee Lamb should have hit him on top of his head with his ball. Bruh, you had your chance. All that pushing. I'll take unsportsmanlike conduct. As soon as he pushed him out, I got up, hit him dead in his head with the ball.
Over. The game was over, and it was okay. And all he did was stand up and just wave by.
He walked it off, Skip. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to put this on the foot of Greg Zuerlein and have him shank it or they block it or whatever may happen. Let's walk this thing off.
So, in the end, to all of your points, 82 plays to only 50 plays. 37 first downs to only 17 first downs for New England. 567 yards to 335. Most yards ever thrown against Belichick, although it did take overtime because it wouldn't have ranked without the overtime because in overtime he had 71 more yards passing. So in regulation it would not have ranked all time because it wouldn't have been better than Kurt Warner was 401, Peyton was 400, and there was another one. at 399. So, but it wouldn't have ranked, but he got the 71 in overtime, and that put him all the way up, obviously, to 445, which made the most yards ever thrown against Belgium.
Right.
So
most passing yards this year, I think, too, also.
Yeah. And in the first quarter, he had the most first quarter passing yards. He had 161 in just the first quarter. So I saw fits and starts of greatness.
Right.
But in the end, my takeaway was, boy, there's a lot to clean up in here. I love the outcome. I love what you said about the momentum. I have told you from the start, there is something different about this team, something potentially special about this team. I can't explain it, but I like the swagger. I like the belief system. I like how Dak is just impervious. He's unsinkable. He can make a mistake, and he bounces right back with a huge, spectacular play. It was an electrifying finish, and now they get their bye week to try to heal up and maybe get DeMarcus Lawrence back, maybe get Gallup back, maybe get Lyle Collins. They will get Lyle Collins back.
But Wilson is playing unbelievable, like I said he would. He's making plays. Now, he did drop a touchdown, Skip.
He did.
But to give the guy credit, he stayed
he's
with
made a lot of little big plays.
But yes, and none bigger than that 4th and 4. That was basically your play of the game because, like you said, he doesn't make that play, they're going to lose the ball game. Dak put it. He didn't. Either he's catching this or nothing's good gonna happen. But Skip, look, like you said, when you look at this is not a 35-29 ball game. This is a 45. A 45-18, a 45-24 type of ball game. When you look at the numbers, if you just look at the numbers, didn't watch the game, you're like, oh, they blew this guy's out. With this time of possession, with this many yards, with this many first down, oh, yeah. How many? They beat them by, 25? Nah, they beat them by 6 in overtime.
Okay, final takeaway. Even though we had to win in spite of McCarthy, and I predicted before the year started, we will win in spite of. We won 5 games in spite of. I also predicted CeeDee Lamb would emerge as a star, and that was his breakout game.
Yeah, he played well yesterday.
He just came to the big party game.
Skip, if you look at it like through the first 3 quarters, he was like very pedestrian. And then the 4th quarter in overtime, he lost his mind. And just like that just started feeding him. And they had no answer. And I was like, Coach, are you going to switch it up? Are you going to play cover 5? Are you going to play quarter? He just like, nah, we're going to just keep doing this. I was like, okay, you're going to keep getting what you're getting done to you.
I think Belichick viewed CeeDee Lamb the way you do, as he's all right, but not that guy. And yesterday he was that guy.
Well, Skip, here's the thing. I mean, you don't have a Stephon Gilmore that you can say, you know what? We're going to take Stephon Gilmore. We're going to put him on Amari Cooper, and then we can play coverage everywhere else. Hey, Stephon, you got Amari man-to-man. That was at the height. That's when Stephon Gilmore was Defensive Player of the Year.
He made Amari quit.
Right. He was having the type of season, Skip, that Diggs is having. That's what Gilmore was doing that year. And now all of a sudden, J.C. Jackson, he done forgot how to play football. I don't know what. Maybe he's waiting for a payday or something. But he doesn't look like the same guy from the previous 2 years. But give the Cowboys credit, going on the road, even though this was an inferior team, they had like 25 ways to lose this ball game, and they found one to win.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.